2 years ago, I combed through the records of more than 100 women who are serving life sentences in Louisiana prison. I found 21 who were convicted for killing domestic partners who often left them battered and bruised. And since that story aired, an anonymous donor gave $2 million to the Domestic Violence Law Clinic at Tulane, allowing them to form a team of lawyers and support staff to review the cases of those women and more. In the last 2 weeks alone, the Women's Prison Project has gotten 2 women serving life sentences for self-defense killings out.
I'm 34 years old. I'll be 35 come June. June 6th is my birthday, actually.
At 34 years old, Candace Malone has lived 2 lifetimes. Her first led her to college at Grambling State University.
I was working a full-time job at ConAgra's chicken plant, and I was going to school full-time. So it was a major struggle that really put me down in a bad depression.
That's around the time she met Terrence Henderson. Their relationship went downhill fast. It was abusive and violent. One time he cut her, she says. She called police.
I'd taken all the knives and I actually went and locked myself in the car, and I waited for the police to arrive, and that is where I was when the police arrived. And I filed a report that day, and they informed me that I could file a restraining order, but it would cost me $100.
$100 the struggling college student didn't have. By March of her junior year, Malone had a cigarette burn on her shoulder, scissor marks on her neck, grip bruises, she says, from his hands on her elbow. All of that spelled out in court records after the last time they would ever have a fight. A violent 24 hours that started when she said he couldn't use their car because she didn't have the money to spend on gas.
I just remember feeling like, I just can't take this anymore. So I laid there. I didn't fight back anymore. And I just built up my strength, and I finally raised up and I pushed him off me. And I had actually grabbed the gun and I hit him with it.
Prosecutors would later use that against her because the next morning when he got angry again, she grabbed his gun and pointed it at him.
And all of a sudden, he moved toward me. And at that point, I didn't realize what had happened. I didn't hear the gunshot or anything. I just saw him fall on the floor.
She was charged with second-degree murder, and as she prepared for final exams in college while standing trial.
So I thought that the jury would see that I was actually the victim in the situation, so I didn't hesitate to go on stand and speak for myself. But a lot of the things that I said were misconstrued in court.
10 jurors found her guilty and sent her to prison for life.
And I will never forget the face of the 2 people that said no, that voted no to find me not guilty. And it was just this look of devastation on their faces when they were asked how they voted.
She went from college student to convict that day, she says, for killing an abusive partner in self-defense. And Malone says she met a lot of other women in prison for the same thing.
There are a lot of women there who are in similar situations. One of my best friends, Katina Curley, actually was one of my best friends while I was there. And we used to always talk about getting out of prison and the things that we would do together once we got out. So between the 2 of us, it kept us going.
Katina Curley's suffering would ultimately lead to a chance at freedom for many of the women in her shoes. The Louisiana Supreme Court issued this landmark ruling in Curley's case that allows domestic violence survivors to seek a new trial if experts are not called to testify about battered women's syndrome. It's the idea that the abuse victim has the reasonable fear that their life is in danger because of the past abuse.
I think sometimes initially when people would refer to battered women's syndrome, it would be seen more as like an excuse for the behavior, whereas we think that a better way of looking at it is that women are defending themselves.
2 years ago, I identified 21 cases where women are serving life sentences in Louisiana for killing their allegedly abusive domestic partners. Sandra Starr, Beatrice Jones, and now Candace Malone are out thanks to the work of a group of lawyers and support staff at Tulane Law School called the Women's Prison Project. Stas Moroz is one of their attorneys. He helped Malone finally see freedom on Monday with a big assist from Katina Curley.
She got out in large part due to the Curley decision, which held that in situations where a survivor of intimate partner violence kills her abuser, it's essential for defense attorneys to consult with an expert in intimate partner violence.
The Webster Parish DA gave her a second chance to plead guilty to manslaughter this week to leave prison with credit for time served, 13.5 years. A bittersweet pill to swallow because she too was a victim.
I feel like the best way out for me sometimes would have been if I just allowed him to kill me, because it hurts thinking that I have to live the rest of my life like this. I didn't plan for this to happen. I didn't mean for this to happen. If I could take it back, I would just go back as far as to not having ever met him.
She got her paralegal certificate and studied American Sign Language while she was in prison. And now that her second life locked up is behind her, she's ready for her third, pushing domestic violence awareness and change, a self-defense law to really protect victims of abuse who fight back.
The biggest question they ask is, why didn't you leave? And I left several times. I wanted to leave that day. A lot of my time I asked, why didn't he leave? You know, he had every choice to not be the person he was, to not put his hands on me, to not threaten my life. And he chose not to do that.
So last week, the Women's Prison Project worked out a deal with Orleans Parish DA Jason Williams to vacate the conviction of this woman, Betty Jean Broughton, who served 38 years of a life sentence for killing a man she says repeatedly sexually assaulted her in her own home. Prosecutors questioned why she didn't leave, and a jury convicted her. One of the biggest hurdles the attorneys say they're facing is that barriers in the law are keeping many of the abuse survivors, including several of the ones I found in my investigation, from even getting their cases heard. They're hoping lawmakers will take another look at those barriers and take them down.